Okay, hi Autumn, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. So I'm here today recording this video with Autumn Kirker. Autumn, why don't you tell everybody why it is that you reached out to me to begin with, and then
Okay.
you can talk a little bit about your recent experience in flying to California.
Okay. I reached out to Surrender because I was planning a trip, an upcoming trip. I had always had this fear of flying, so I hadn't flown in my whole life, and I needed to, and and frankly just wanted to. So I found Surrender, let him know what my worries were, and we quickly got to work on this program that he suggested that would rid me of this phobia.
Okay. And so recently you went to California.
Yeah, so I've actually gone on 2 trips since we've met.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know. I only knew about the
yeah,
one. Okay.
yeah, so this is my 2nd trip. Yeah, and it's been amazing. The techniques and tools that Surrender has offered have helped tremendously. Do I have a little bit of stress with the travel? Absolutely, just normal stressors, but not to the level that I've ever
How about
seen.
anxiety though? Because that was the real problem, was a phobia of actually flying. So let's talk about
Right,
that.
right. Yeah. So, I mean, just thinking about it in the past, like seeing an image of a faraway place would make me feel uncomfortable, tense, sweaty palms, just considering it, right?
Yeah.
And then the work that we put in has now led to, I mean, that is non existent at this point.
So there's no sweaty palms, even on the
No, no, no,
plane,
no.
and
Right.
no
With
other
turbulence.
symptoms.
Yeah, turbulence, babies crying, emergencies, I had none of those worries.
And flying back,
Minimal,
same thing
minimal
with flying
stress.
back.
Yeah, same thing with flying back, and I almost by the time I approached the airport and during the holiday season when it was so busy, I was anticipating it in a good way, and it
Yeah,
was really enjoyable. It was very enjoyable.
awesome. Okay. So here's what I've noticed with my clients that come to me for flying phobias. Usually it's either, well, it's gonna be one of two things. It's gonna be a specific incident they had on a plane, like severe turbulence, that then causes them to be afraid of flying again. Or it's going to be a person who has anxiety in other areas of life as well, and getting on a plane just happens to be one of the things that causes anxiety. And so that's the camp that you fall into, correct?
Correct, I
Yeah.
would say so.
So let's talk about other things that may have improved in your life, as you know, as well as your ability to fly in a calm state. What else has changed?
Yeah. I think my just overall sense of well-being has changed very subtly. I was like, I would be presented with a situation, with this unsurprising event that happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm handling this very well. Like before, again, I think my anxiety would allow sweaty palms and heart racing and just a nervous feeling when presented with something uncomfortable. And now I'm walking into it going, wow, it was easy and it feels normal, and pushing through and persevering is just a lot easier now with these strategies and tools that you have shared.
Okay, great. So you've gotten to that point now where you realize that you're the one creating your emotional state and it's not your
Yeah.
environment.
Yes, correct.
But as a teacher, how old are the children that you teach?
12, 11,
12. So
12.
grade seven?
Yeah, grade 7.
Yeah. Has this changed your approach as a teacher with your students?
Absolutely. And it's interesting because last year I didn't love my job. I did not love my job, and I was searching for an alternative, and what am I going to do? This isn't bringing me joy. And now I'm falling into a different way there. Like
Wow.
I
So,
do
so
enjoy.
you're feeling different about your job. How about the way that you're teaching the students?
Absolutely. My approach is different. I feel like now I'm more concerned with their well-being. I mean, I've always cared about teaching, and that was part of why I taught, was caring for students, but I care for them in a different way now.
Mhm.
That's not so institutional. I just feel like my purpose is a little bit different than what it used to be in my teaching. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything is a little bit different when you actually have a driving force behind you, when you have a true purpose.
Yeah, yeah. I had a teacher pop in yesterday, and they were just sharing some life experiences, and it really drived with what you teach. And it was so interesting because it was this validation. This was just yesterday. and I started crying. So it's this male teacher that walks in the room to share something profound. Like, I read this chapter of this book, and I told my wife, and I just thought you'd be interested. And I start crying in front of him because I feel like I've reached this level of awareness of
Hmm.
a good life, of this is how I'm supposed to feel and this is how I'm supposed to live. And this simple thing that he shares with me, and I'm crying, and it was funny.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, remember the logical levels that we talked about, environment, and then changing your modifying behavior, and then your capabilities, beliefs, identity. The higher level, we didn't talk about it too much, but the higher level beyond identity is that next thing that opens up, which is the higher purpose. And for
Yes.
some people, it's a spiritual connection. For others, it's not necessarily a spiritual connection in traditional sense. Might not have anything to do with religion. It might be more about nature. It might be more about how they feel like they fit into the world. When that starts opening up to you, then those profound moments seem to happen more often.
More often. So that's
Yeah.
exactly what he was speaking of. And he was like, all these, people that go through life without feeling this way, without having this passion and joy. And I started crying because I'm like, I'm this lucky one. That's the emotion, was like, I did it, and
Yeah.
I am so fortunate. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Think of how lucky I am. I get to experience this with people every day in my office, or over Zoom with
Yeah,
people like yourself that live far away,
yeah,
and many times with people face to face. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Listen, thank you very much for doing this video. I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel, and it'll end
Okay.
up on my Facebook page. I'm sorry to have thrown that in. Usually, I mean, I talked to you a little bit about what we're going to discuss, but the whole teacher angle, I love working with teachers because they have such an opportunity to mold young minds and teach people that their emotional response is theirs, and it's not dictated to them, and they don't have to feel a certain way because of somebody talking to them a certain way. And you've got kids at a great age because they're not in high school yet. And so to get them that knowledge at this age, for many of them, it's going to mean the difference between them, despising their high school years or loving their high school years, because they'll have the strength inside and they won't look outwards at other people to treat them a certain way so that they can feel good.
Yeah, yeah,
That,
absolutely.
and then next year you get a whole new crop of kids to do that same thing with.
Yeah, it's
There,
providing these great connections with students. That's what a good takeaway for me is.
excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. We couldn't have recorded a better video if we'd scripted it. I love it.
Good.
All
I'm
right.
so glad.
Thank you very much. And we'll
Mhm.
talk again soon. And I know you're planning another trip, so send me an email. Let me know how that goes. You won't need me again for
Yeah,
to feel any better about flying, that's for sure. But I'd still
yeah.
love to hear from you.
Okay. I just can't believe it. It's like I just can't. I can't even believe it. The joy and the yeah, just awareness. I think, and just. I mean, I really loved flying. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like a child. Like all this is new, and I didn't once like beat myself up that I didn't do it before. It was
Mhm.
very positive. It wasn't like, oh, I should have done this for. It was new, and it was at the right moment in my life for it to happen. So
Yeah. Well, we spent a lot of time talking about that. The past is gone. You can't do anything about it.
right,
It's the future that you
right,
can influence. And
right.
that's what you're describing. When you talk like that, that's what I hear.
Yeah,
I
good
hear.
stuff. And then I was able to experience this with the baby. It's like this is our life together, is these great
Yeah.
experiences. So yeah. So
Awesome.
thank you very much. You're always on my mind, for and as far as gratitude. So thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for providing the video too. Other people will be helped by this. There's somebody out
Okay.
there that's watching this right now thinking, maybe I can get on an airplane again, right? This
Yeah.
lady did it. Maybe I can do it. So I appreciate
Yeah.
you helping in that way. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Bye for now.